I'll yield it to...
I thank you for yielding to me. I did want to respond to the Secretary's offer that we have a closed-door session to receive testimony from witnesses and to see documents. The problem with that offer is that you will give us information that we then cannot make public because it's then confidential. And I think there are a lot of things that ought to be made public. And one question I would want to know, and I think it ought to be answered publicly, is money that's being taken from corruption, through corruption, from the Iraqi government, funding the terrorists that are killing our troops. You don't have to name a source. You don't have to identify anybody that's confidential. But we ought to know that information, and I'd hope you'd answer that question as we go into a debate about whether we're going to give another $196 billion to this war.
There are militias that are being funded by multiple sources, including people who are able to use the Iraqi system to bring funding to their militias, yes, in the South in particular. But a much bigger problem, Mr. Chairman, and one that will be there in spades if we don't complete this mission, is the support that those militias are getting from Iran.
Well, I think that's a very important issue and it needs to be debated. But I don't want to take an offer from you to give this Congress of the United States information that we can then not talk about publicly as we debate these important policy questions. And that is our disagreement on that question.
Yes, I understand. But, Mr. Chairman, if I may say, it is not at all unusual that information is provided to the Congress that cannot be made public for reasons of sourcing. And so I renew the offer to you.
We don't need to get into sources. But there are a lot of questions we ought to have answered that don't involve sources. We'll discuss this further, but I do want you to know that your offer, while you may feel is generous, is not consistent with, I think, the proper roles between the executive and the legislative branch. But it is Mr. Yarmouth's time for